Hey, thanks for checking out Taste This. We're going to continue our 2022 whiskey mashup today with Maker's Mark and Weller Special Reserve. Two great bourbons that'll fit in on just about any bar or bar shelf at home. So, I'm looking forward to getting into it. Let's check it out. All right, so the whiskey mashup's been a lot of fun so far. We've had some surprises during the tapings and the tastings, so it's really worth checking out. Today we're doing Maker's Mark and Weller Special Reserve. Like I said, we all know these bourbons. Most of us love these bourbons. Let's see how they stack up against each other. Would you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the future tapings and the mashups? You're going to want to check them out. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming, so you're not going to want to miss any of them. Maker's Mark. Well known, everybody knows. You go into a bar, and most of the bars, at least around here, the local bars, when you're looking for a little bit better bourbon, they got Maker's Mark. You're hoping for maybe Basil Hayden's or something, but this is about the sometimes a standard corner bar. This is the best bourbon they got, and it's not bad. It's a unique bottle. It's inspired by cognac bottles. Don't get confused either by the spelling. They spell whiskey with just a Y, and I remember at one point I was like, does that mean something? Is it not really whiskey? What is it? It just means they wanted to spell it with the traditional Scottish spelling. That's it. So if you're wondering, there's the answer. It's 90 proof. It's not age stated. Typically about 6 to 7 years of age. And they say they age it to taste, not to a clock. And that probably produces a more consistent tasting bourbon. Maker's Mark is, if anything, it's consistent. The mash bill is 70% corn, 16% wheat, 14% malted barley, and as most of you know, you can buy it for $25 to $30 in most liquor stores. Weller Special Reserve, or the green label, again, a 90 proof wheated bourbon. It's not age stated, but they think it's about 7 years. And you know how Buffalo Trace is. They are just so notoriously secretive about their mash bills, but I'm going to assume that it's health. Obviously, it's going to be 70% or 80% corn. You're going to have maybe 16% wheat and 14% barley or something in there. But it's not age stated, like I said. It's a very good basic bourbon. I really like it. It's very enjoyable, and it's a good one to make a old fashioned out of, or just to have a little sip and enjoy. So let's get into the tasting. On the nose, we got a little bit of, let's see, a little bit of sweet, some caramel in there, some brown sugar and vanilla. Honestly, it's got a little more of an alcohol. You can sense a little more alcohol in the nose than you would think from a 90 proof. It's kind of surprising. Let's give it a taste. Get some vanilla, oak, little cinnamon, a little bit of pepper. It's got a really nice buttery mouthfeel. It's very smooth, and the finish it's almost not there, but at the end I get just a little bit of a bite on the end. Not really sure what that's from, but again, it's funny because on the nose you got a little alcohol sense there, and on the finish, I think this one drinks a little stronger than what it actually is. But on the nose, I'd give that one, I'm gonna give that maybe a 5. The palate, let's call it a 7, because I love that buttery mouthfeel. It's not very complex. It tastes like a very standard bourbon, but maybe, like I said, maybe just with a little bit of a bite on the end. The finish, because it doesn't linger, and I like a kind of a lingering finish, I'm gonna give it a 4. So overall, I'm going to say Maker's Mark is a 16. You can give it whatever rating you want when you taste it, but I'm going to call it a 16. Let's try Weller Special Reserve here. I'm tasting some, I get some sweet there, some vanilla, some caramel, maybe some oak and honey, but gosh, I love the way this one smells. I could spend a lot of time just doing the nose on this because it's really enjoyable. Let's give it a taste. It's very easy on the palate. It's sweet. There's a honey sweetness to it. There's some caramel in it. I can get just a hint of the oak in it. The wheated side comes through. There's no spice. And with the finish, a little bit of a medium finish maybe. There's just a little heat. Some more oak in the finish, I think. I'm going to give the nose, I'll give that a 7. I'm going to give the palate a 6. And on the finish, it's not a real strong finish, not a real heavy finish. It's probably a 4 for that. So all in all, I'm gonna call that a 7, a 6, a 4. I'm gonna call that a 17. And it's a nice, easy introductory bourbon. It's a nice sipping bourbon. I don't think I would make an old fashioned with it because I think it would get lost in the mixers. But I definitely see why people chase Weller down. So these are really nice bourbons. They're a great place to introduce someone to sipping bourbon. Maker's Mark got a 16 here. Weller gets a 17, and I guess I should have mentioned Weller. You get about $30 for it around here for the sticker price, standard price. But then when it starts, as Buffalo Trace products tend to do, it starts getting a little hard to find. Boy, I see those prices going up to 40, 50, even $60, and at 50 or $60, I'm just out on Weller because I can buy this. This is a 16, right? Or I gave it 16 points versus Weller having a 17 points. I guess if I had to pay $25 for this or $50 for this, I'll do Maker's Mark every day of the week. That being said, Weller's going to move on to our winner's bracket, and Maker's is going to move into our secondary bracket, and just be watching for those mashups in the future. But these, you can use them for mixing. I think they get a little lost as a mixer. Overall, I like both, but they're probably not my first choice for an evening drink. Then again, I wouldn't turn either one of them down. So stick around. Check back next week. We'll have another mashup. So we'll see you then.